violence and other kind of violence.
Guess what? I could be at work, at school, in my car, and I can still get shot by the police. But I can get shot anywhere.
So it is what it is.
What's good, cyberspace? It's the Black Gen Z Mindset. Make sure you go ahead and like, comment, share, subscribe, and let's get into the video.
Good afternoon, I'm Liz Reyes.
And I'm Lauren McCoy. We begin with breaking news as Orleans Sheriff Susan Hudson fires 5 high-ranking members in her office.
Wow. And when you thought that they were going to be hiring more police officers, trying to make the city safer, you have a whole sweeping away of tenured officers who know the job, have experience, and they're being relieved of their duties. It's just ridiculous.
Now, a source tells Fox 8 News all 5 were holdovers from former Sheriff Marlon Guzman's administration. They had more than 100 years of experience with the sheriff's office. The ousted deputy.
100 years of experience, and they're just, we don't need you anymore. I mean, this city is just crumbling and crumbling.
These were identified as Captain Mark Jones, Captain Melvin Joseph, Captain Jerry Martin, Lieutenant Danny Henry, and Major Robert Donnelly. 2 of the 5 confirmed the firings to Fox 8 and said they were shocked over the dismissals. When asked to confirm the firings, Phil Stelly, the sheriff's public information officer, replied in a text, quote, "We're searching now."
It's been a violent Labor Day weekend in the city of New Orleans with a string of carjackings leaving people on edge.
Well, one of those carjackings happened near a popular bar on Magazine Street. WDSU reporter Shay O'Connor joins us live near where it happened with how it all unfolded. Shay?
And we know these carjackings are getting out of hand. Linda Fricky comes to mind. There was another woman who was dragged at the Costco a few weeks before the Linda Fricky situation happened. So these super gremlins are getting active, and they don't have any regard for anybody else's safety.
Hey?
That is right. Seller and Travers, now owners with the Monkey Hill Bar, they tell me that it was 2 of their customers leaving from their bar when they were approached by 2 gunmen. Their car was eventually stolen.
Outside Monkey Hill Bar on Magazine Street Labor Day night, NOPD says 2 vehicles blocked a car in as suspects demanded their belongings. They got away with the car before crashing along Jefferson Avenue.
It's scary, and something has to be done. People have to be held accountable.
People who live uptown say the crime has gotten out of hand.
My neighbor was carjacked at 8:30 in the morning. It doesn't matter.
8:30 in the morning. And they know exactly who's doing it. They can't say anything about it. Otherwise, they're racist and they're going to be doxxed and exposed and canceled, whatever you want to call it. But this is a major issue and nobody's speaking up about it. And these super gremlins are willing and able to take lives. These super gremlins are on demon time.
It doesn't matter the time. It doesn't matter the neighborhood. The criminals are not being held accountable.
I know someone who lives uptown who got carjacked about 4 months ago. She was just driving in her car. These guys pulled up front and back, got her out of the car, took her car, and yeah, you don't know where it's going to happen because it's happening all over the city. And
Rafael Goeneche with the Metro Crime Commission says this could suggest that the crimes were committed by the same group, but still too early to tell.
There were 4 yesterday, 3 of them in the 2nd District within blocks of each other over about a 2-hour period of time.
4 in one day within blocks of each other in a span of 2 hours. And it's not like they're even like really taking these cars and whipping around like that. I mean, some are, but most of the time they're just taking them joyride and then, you know, leaving them be.
Across the city, carjackings up by about 12%.
Part of the reason that we're seeing the violent crime surge that we're experiencing right now is that the offenders in many respects realize that the numbers favor them. They're well cognizant of the fact that the police department is at a 70-year staffing shortage. So they realize that the odds of...
And why is there a shortage? Because people were chanting defund the police for the last couple of summers, and now the police don't feel any loyalty to the city. I mean, they're going to other cities and flourishing. Cities that let them do their jobs. Cities that allow them to catch these super gremlins and keep them locked up. Criminal justice reform, bail reform. All these things add up, and it's like they're talking around it.
Apprehension favor the offenders.
Now, officials with the Metropolitan Crime Commission, they tell me that later this week, the mayor is set to announce some new changes when it comes to NOPD. Now, I have since reached out to officials with the mayor's office. They tell me at this time they cannot confirm or deny it. But of course, we will continue to keep you updated as we find out more information. Reporting live from Uptown, Shay O'Connor, WDSU News.
All right, Shay, thank you so much for that report. We're going to stay on the crime beat, take a look at some numbers here for you at other crimes besides carjackings in the latest Metropolitan Crime Report. Homicides, shootings, and armed robbery, they're all up from 2019 and 2020. So according to this report, as of...
And we don't have the 2021 FBI data. I'm sure they've got the local data, but we don't have the FBI data, which I guess that's where they're going by. And I did a story on that if you guys want to go back into the archives. I mean, they're trying to make this the new normal.
As of yesterday, New Orleans has seen 203 homicides, 329 shootings, and 379 armed.
You know, when we interviewed some time ago, but it's still not quiet in Gotham.
Tonight, the NOPD investigates a shooting that killed 2 people, and the city had already surpassed the number of homicides seen in all of 2020, according to a watchdog group. Good evening, I'm Lee Zurich.
And I'm Lauren McCoy. The shooting in New Orleans East took the lives of 2 adult men in the middle of the day.
As David Jones reports, one city councilman is outraged. He says the city needs to get a grip on crime, and it starts with stopping retaliation.
My kids are babysat in this block, in this area sometimes.
And, you know, even looking at this street, this is not anywhere where I would drop my children off to be babysat. I don't care if grandma live on this block. I don't care if the nanny live on this block. My kids ain't going here.
That's crazy.
The latest brazen shooting in New Orleans hits home for Councilman Oliver Thomas.
There is an element out here that's armed with criminal intent.
An element? Is that what we calling them now? An element? These super element gremlins are on demon time.
And with murder on their mind, this is a sick time. We need...
You heard what he said, murder on their mind. Who does that remind us of? YNW Melly, who the Communitah is praising and chanting free him, and he ain't do nothing, and he killed 2 of his so-called best friends.
Some healing. An element out here that's armed with criminal intent and with murder on their mind. This is a sick time. We need some healing.
In Littlewoods, just before 3 o'clock in the afternoon, a double murder on the 7,000 block of Yorktown. Neighbors tell Fox 8 a car pulled up. Multiple men got out and gunned down 2 men working on this red Ford SUV. One of the victims in his mid-20s, the other in his late 50s. Neighbors say the 2 were father and son, although...
Wow, so that kind of resembles what happened to J.D. Youngin, except his father lived to tell the tale. But father and son working on a car, get caught lacking. The ops pull up because the son most likely has ops, and they obliterate his whole lineage.
Though NOPD has not identified them.
All is not well in New Orleans right now.
It's still not quiet in Gotham. And it seems like no matter what time of day, no matter where you live, Algiers, Central City, Uptown, Metairie. There's something going on in this city, this region, in this country where people are just out of their minds with violence.
Investigators remain clustered around the SUV for hours, collecting evidence markers, some placed on the engine of the car.
The one thing we do know from talking to people in the street and from some of the intelligence that comes from law enforcement, retaliation is a big part of the violence that's happening.
This is street justice.
Criminologist Peter Scharf says retaliation is a consistent thorn in the side of homicide detectives in New Orleans.
What percentage of killings in New Orleans are in effect revenge killings? And no one quite knows the answer, but my sense is a high percentage.
And it's not even necessarily revenge killings. I told you guys, we live in an op culture, so dudes are talking crap online. They're going back and forth on Facebook, and then everybody knows where everybody lives. It's a small city relatively, and they pulling up. They in walking distance or driving distance. The Communitah is completely out of control. And it seems like nobody's doing anything about it, but something must be done, and very soon here.
Involved disputes.
The Metropolitan Crime Commission reports as of Monday, the city has surpassed the total number of homicides in 2020.
Stevie Wonder and Ray Charles saw that coming, given the level of violence we have right now.
MCC's numbers show 205, including
my man talking about Stevie Wonder and Ray Charles. He got jokes.
Including the double murder in Littlewoods. NOPD says the number is 203. Whatever the case, Oliver Thomas says it's a grim milestone. He says it's a small group of people causing chaos.
If Stevie Wonder and Ray Charles could see the killers and the violence.
God dang, I mean, he loved that Stevie Wonder and Ray Charles joke. And you can feel it. You can feel the violence in the Communitah by the way that they keep up with the property. Obviously, you can see there's a lot of boarded up properties, trash. I mean, they got old furniture in the front yards, probably been there for months. I mean, they don't care about where they live. They don't care about how they live. You know, and they're making the environment unsafe. And it's a sad day. It really is. Like most of the days in New Orleans, these types of things are just going to continue on. But the Communitah, we're the only people who can stop it. But it doesn't seem like, you know, from what I'm seeing, nobody really thinks this is an issue. So, I mean, as a matter of fact, they're glorifying it. I just saw one rapper post, though, if you ain't never drilled nobody, you can't be a drill rapper. That's the mentality when it comes to this type of thing in the Communitah.
Then we need to be as clear as seeing the people who are killing and harming us and carjacking us. We need to see them as clearly as they see each other. Get the people who are involved in these revenge murders and get them off the street.
NOPD is asking anyone with information to come forward to their detectives. This is important. You can remain anonymous by calling Crime Stoppers. That number can be found right there below on your screen, 504-822-1111.
I'm here on the corner of MLK and Frederick Douglass, where a shooting just took place. And as you can see, it's a pretty rough area. So I'm basically risking my life reporting on this madness. So make sure you do me a favor and hit the subscribe button. Like the video, hell, share the video. And make sure you go ahead and leave a comment down in the comments section to continue the discussion on how we can find solutions to all this son violence in the streets. I'm Jenquavius Jackson, here live, reporting from Atlanta, Georgia, BGZM News 17.
All right, guys, so the moment you've all been waiting for. It looks like Rondo does not want to gangbang anymore. Apparently, he's what they call laying down his flag. We showed you guys a video of the encounter that he had where his friend was gunned down in LA. And people are making fun of him for denouncing gang violence and denouncing gang activity. And, you know, they basically don't want him to leave the gang. So let's read it. Quando Rondo explains why he's laying down his flag and not affiliated to NH anymore. No loyalty in this ish. I don't know what NH is, but he says, I'm not jump out gang either. Ain't no loyalty in this ish. I'm my own man. I laid my flag down. I'm not NH. Y'all ain't gonna ride for a Negro. For real, it's no sense of me being part of y'all ish. Y'all F with the opposition, IDGAF, who feel hit, F you. And if you can't feel where I'm coming from on this, you a B, A, N-word. Because it don't take rocket science to see what the F going on. Everybody already hate me. I ain't tripping on the extra hate. I'm about to focus on my family, the ones who gonna really drop a tear if I die. And people are in the comments section laughing. Somebody says federal, which means they're saying he's an agent. I mean, this is what black men, this is the mentality. It's absolutely embarrassing. He says, and this guy is a blood, I believe, because he's not using B's. He's using K's, or C's rather. He's using K's. He says, can't fold when pressure get applied. Gotta stand on all 10, jit. Got M's. About you, homie, you supposed to make something happen. So, because he has money, he's supposed to throw away his life by retaliating against people that he probably doesn't even know. You never know who actually did what. So, they want him to spend money on hitmen to avenge his friend. I mean, these people are disgusting, and these are blue check mark individuals. They're absolutely sickening. They're disgusting. They're pieces of crap. These guys, I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. Don't know how to move other than this internet ish. One thing about the game, it ain't that easy. It ain't that easy to get out. Learning all his lessons the hard way. The streets don't love nobody. Now it's all fake. A very thin line between homie and hater. So, I mean, people were mentioning Charleston White steps into the chat. Nah, buddy, this is for real life. Guess what? Them boys on the other side, they ain't stopping because you are. I mean, and he is right. The people that he's got beef with are not going to stop. He's been very close to death many times. Being involved in the death of King Von, being involved in, the death of his friend. And he's ready to give it all up. And he should. But, as you can see, black people, the Communitah does not want to let him go. So let's look at some more of this chaos in the Communitah. Another rapper, FOOLIO, speaks on Quando Rondo dropping his flag. Dog, homeboy died in Cali. He trying to squash beef and throw his flag in. It's too late for that nephew. So people are saying he's right. Boy said he put in a 2 weeks notice on his crippin', but he not lying. They not finna let up on bro. Bro always trying to be in someone else's beef. So FOOLIO put in his 2 cents. Then we've got Quando Rondo with another message. He says, I can care less what somebody think. Get in my way and I'm going to knock you down. Okay, so before you go to talking about another Negro, sit back and think like I don't even got 200 bands because you need way more than that to stand with me. Y'all Negroes still think 20K is up. I can care less what somebody think. Get in my way and I'm going to knock you down. Simple. No cap. So somebody says, damned if you do, damned if you don't. Negroes gonna talk regardless. Might as well do what you want anyways. Buddy dropped the flag but kept the lingo. That single man talk, his girl gone. Rappers run to social media with everything. So the people are critical. They're laughing. They think it's a game. But, you know, this is the thing. I don't necessarily feel sorry for him because he was putting out this energy. The music that he created was of this energy, going back and forth online, social media, talking to dudes, beefing and whatnot. He's full part of the op culture and has influenced many children to do exactly what he's doing. And I'm pretty sure that there are some people who have died listening to his music while listening to his music and whatnot. So I don't think any of these rappers are really good people. Okay. A very small select few probably are, but you know, you kind of have to, I would say you have to feel some pity. Okay. Because we saw him spiraling when his friend died. He's so close to a lot of this. But like I said, this is the energy that he has mustered up. Another rapper says he speaks on Quando Rondo. I guess I don't know who this is. Jay Stone, All Money In. I mean, this is a walking indictment. This is a walking RICO. Everybody is showing their affiliation when speaking on this. But anyways, that just goes to show the intelligence level of the Communitah. He says you can't drop your flag and say you not NH no mo. Blank. Go to the hood and get yo put off. Don't cry now. We lose homies all the time. Not everybody gonna ride. You was a goofy / internet banger anyway. So people are disassociating from Quando Rondo. This guy says Jay Stone 100% right. That gang-ish gets so political. You better know what you're getting into. People saying he ain't lie. Real N-words no. Ain't gotta do all that yapping. My N-word tried to quit without putting in a 2 weeks notice. That's tough. Same guy from the last post. Y'all act like YB and Quando can't get him knocked off. He picking on people with way more money than him. So this is what the Communitah has come down to. I mean, look, if you are a brother with some sense, get as far away as possible from these types of people. Okay. So we have an article here trying to see if they have any new information. Quando mad that NH homies in Cali don't want to ride for him now. He want to drop his flag and don't be Crip no more. Who made these Negroes? Quando Rondo is the perfect example of Get Back not having an expiration date. Him and them Negroes made diss tracks and popped ish for 2 years. One N-word get hit. Now he ready to put his flag down. Nah, Negro, this when you pick it up. So people actually want him to continue to embrace the gang life instead of putting it behind him and saying, look, I don't want to be a part of this anymore because there is no loyalty. There is no respect. Rich and him putting this gang life down might even it might even save his life, you know, in the long run. And hopefully he starts working with authorities so that we can get the rest of these NH super gremlins off of the streets. But he says, my thing with Quando, you can't wave the white flag when your side took a life first and you was popping big-ish in your songs. Make it make sense. The reactions Quando Rondo getting for dropping his flag is everything wrong with the black Communitah SMH. Yeah, so we have one woman or Nay Davius, I don't know if this is a woman or a man, but we have one individual in the Communitah who has some sense. One out of all those comments that I read. There are no solutions. These super rapping gremlins, are on demon time.
Gang violence and other kind of violence.
Guess what? I could be at work, at school, in my car, and I can still get shot by the police. I can get shot anywhere.
So it is what it is.